The pouncing wombat is back. It is now fitter and a lot more handsome. It is the 4th generation Mazda 3 sedan and liftback. Yes, if you remember, the previous Mazda 3 was all about Kodo design, soul of motion. So this car is designed to look like an animal that is all coiled up and ready to pounce. 5 years later, it has gotten even better looking, much like myself, with the further enhanced Kodo design. Developed based on the Kai concept that was unveiled almost 2 years ago, this doesn't look like it's been shortchanged. In fact, it looks almost identical as the concept car. Yes, well done Mazda! But then, suddenly they remembered, Ayya! Where is the Mazda 3 sedan eh? Nanda yo! And then they came up with this. If you notice, the front fender has got a different look, the front door panel has got a different design, and of course, the rear door has got a completely new look. So essentially, if you come to think of it, Mazda has made 2 different models. This here is the 2-litre high variance sedan. If you compare it with the High Plus models, this comes with halogen DRLs, smaller wheels at 16-inch, and it doesn't come with iActiv Sense, which is Mazda's driving assistance. So obviously, the star of the day has to be this. The Mazda 3 2-litre High Plus liftback. The grille looks huge here, even bigger than those new BMWs, yet nobody make fun of it. In fact, it looks fabulous here with this unique mesh grille design together with the dark chrome accent across the face. As for the sedans, they get the floating line grille design together with the shiny chrome accent instead. As for the headlights, they are full LEDs and I like how the lower front bumper looks. From the side, don't you think the front end dips down a bit too low? If it is slightly higher, it would be nicer, no? Or is it just me? Anyway, the rims are 18-inch in size with this very nice dark grey design. The side mirror looks very nice as well. Now the liftback models get this chrome strip that runs at the bottom half of the window frame, while the sedans have a chrome strip running on the top half of the window frame, which is a kind of a cute differentiation, don't you think? By now you would have realized that this car doesn't come with those obvious and prominent lines running across here and there because it is not the Mazda way. The car's character lines are expressed through the light, shadow and Holy Spirit on the sculpted shape and curves. Because less is more. I think that's what they said. I love this little kink over here, which is nice. Okay, this exceptionally thick C-pillar. I know you guys have a lot to say about it, but imagine this car without this part. From the C-pillar as you walk around the rear, cover up the emblem, and this can easily pass off as an Alfa Romeo. And if you look closely into the taillights, what do you see? GTC4 Lusso. Cannot be unseen. And check out the details in it. Just simply beautiful. I like how the top rear end tapers down this way with a thick black spoiler on top of it. And guess what guys? Mazda is finally flaunting the dual tailpipes in the sedan, just like the hatchback. The less is more philosophy is carried on here with a minimal yet functional approach. But at the same time, the little details are not forgotten. I like how they carved out the entire dashboard with the use of different materials and this specially crafted area just for the screen. Even though the screen has got a very weird design, I find it very appealing. This silver ornament looking thing is actually the door handle. I love that. And it runs across the dashboard as well. Now the important touch points in here has got nice soft touch materials. The entire door, the entire dashboard, this knee rest area over here. The armrest is actually plush in the center and on the door as well. Yeah, it is all well and lovely. Steering wheel design, I love it. And Honda, this is how you do it. Not like the black piece of plastic in the Honda Civic. This is nice. Now this entire area over here, I love it. It looks and feels very expensive. The tactile feel, spot on. I love that. It's got pedal shifters. Even though it's nice to hold, but I do feel like the diameter is slightly too big for the size of the car because it feels like it has got, a lot of busy movement going around in the car. Now, middle cluster. I feel that the less is more philosophy is forgotten in the middle cluster because it looks kind of busy and cluttered. On the center is a digital display which you can jog through the views over here. You got 3 different kind of views to choose from, which to be honest, there's nothing much. I don't even know why they want to make it into a digital meter. On the left, there's a rev counter, analog ones, and on the right, water temperature and fuel gauge as well. Now, in between all those, you get more gauges, digital ones that look like fuel gauges. I don't know, you know, those chronograph watches that you see with the very busy interface? This looks somewhat like that. Now, this entire area is very driver focused. You get these 2 vents focusing, sadly, into your fingers. It reminds me of the 488 GTB, very sporty, but in the GTB I would understand because it's to sort of, you know, dry up your sweaty palms, but in here, it is just mainly to freeze up your fingers. The main display, well, it is placed really far away from your reach. You know why? Because it is not a touchscreen. Yes, it is not a touchscreen. I have no idea why. It can only be controlled via the iDrive looking controller over here or voice command. This thing comes with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Doesn't it seem like a backward move to not have touchscreen? According to Mazda, they have a reason. They don't want to distract the driver. They don't want you to fiddle with the screen while you're driving. But come on, Mazda, we are all grown-ups. Let us do our thing. But I have to say the display is really crisp and sharp looking and smooth to operate as well. Down here, one of my favorite parts, the climate control area. Very simple. It's got a very nice temperature knob on both left and right. Storage space in the center. Cup holders with a very nice lid. I like that. Gear lever, well, it's normal. Now, this sport mode button. Oh, can you hear that? The tactile feel, that's Audi. Now, everything else is still very much Mazda. Now, the piano black finishing with this slight hologram-ish looking patterns, it has all been scratched up. So really, I usually like piano black finishing, but to see all these scratches on this panel, that's sad. Armrest compartment, I'm sure you guys have seen this before, a lot of people complain about it. I have no issue with this extra step to open up the lid. Really, this already is a huge step up from before. As before, it was not ergonomical at all.
Hello, hello? Hey, driving, driving, cannot talk. Okay,
Oh. Yeah. And it's very plush as well. Now, open up this way and you get pretty decent size in there with a partition. And of course, if you're traveling alone with your little hamster and got no place to put it, well, you can put it here and separate it from all your other stuff. So, yep, and you can leave a little space here for it to breathe. So, lovely. With a thick C-pillar, you would think that the seat back here is gonna be so dark and claustrophobic and all that, and you are kind of right. Because the dark roof lining is not helping as well. Well, thankfully there is the sunroof to let some light in. The window is actually pretty wide in terms of the length because it goes all the way to the headrest. While the height though, it is pretty limited. I like how the door is designed with the lovely door handle. There are rear air vents back here as well because the air vents in front are mainly for the driver and the passenger only. I forgot to mention the leather used for the seats are very nice and soft. And even the seat designs looks very posh. That's about it. Let's go to the boot. Oh, I don't quite like the carpet design. It looks like it's moldy. Don't you think? Boot space. Well, it is a hatchback, so you can't expect a lot out of it. You do get space-saving spare tire down here. And of course, if you need more space or if you need to climb back into the car through the boot, you can always fold the seats, which I did, climbing back in. All because of this. Now let me tell you things that I don't quite like about this car. Starting with this. One day, my innocent self was wondering, oh, what does this button do? As I was pressing it, nothing happened. So I continued to close the lid. To soon realize I've been locked up from the car with the key still inside. No! Team guy! After some panicking, I then realized, luckily, the boot can still be open, which also means it's the only way to get back into the car to unlock one of the doors.
Yeah, I had to do all that in the public.
The car is able to lock itself when you walk away from it. So every time when I put my daughter into the child seat, as I close the door and walk around the car to the other side, it will then lock myself out. Like that. Yeah. The key fob is actually quite big, but as you can see, the buttons are this small and they are only on the side. The material isn't great as well, and sadly, it doesn't go with the good looks of the car. I honestly do not like the monotone displays in the cabin. It just makes it a bit dull and lifeless. A touch of red here and there for sporty reasons would be nice. But according to Mazda, it's because they do not want to create visual noise that will distract the driver. Yeah. It doesn't automatically release the parking brake when you are in gear. Why? Well, then again, it is not all that bad. Here are some things that I quite like about this car. The keyless walk-away auto lock can actually be quite cool. You can walk away like a boss. But then again, if only you're single lah. I like how the car allows you to customize certain settings to make your experience with the car a bit better. For example, you can go to vehicle settings, you can set when you want the door to lock and unlock, you can even disable the keyless walk-away auto lock as well, if it annoys you. The central locking now comes in button form, instead of having to flick the lock itself like before. Little things, quite nice. I really like this next feature, which you can delay the fuel door lock. For someone paranoid like me, I can now lock the car and then still access the fuel door. I think I've forgotten to tell you that this car actually comes with a proper head-up display now, which is projected onto the windscreen instead of a plastic. It looks really nice, sharp and clear. I like that. This top-of-the-range liftback is powered by the same engine, but slightly tuned, which is a 2-litre naturally aspirated SkyActiv G engine together with a 6-speed automatic gearbox. It makes 162 horsepower and 213 Nm of torque, 0 to 100 in 9.1 seconds with a top speed of 270 km per hour. As compared to the 1.5-litre engine option, it makes 118 horsepower and 153 Nm of torque. By now, you would have heard about the SkyActiv X, which is powered by a 2-litre with a lean supercharger and a mild hybrid system. It makes 180 horsepower with 224 Nm of torque. It is the first to use the spark-controlled compression ignition technology, and it is said to be able to do 5.4 litres per 100 km, which is quite impressive. But too bad, it won't be coming to Malaysia. If you think this is expensive, I think that will be a lot more expensive. Here's something worth mentioning. In terms of safety, only the High Plus variant get the full suite of iActiv Sense system, which is the adaptive front lighting system, high beam control, blind spot monitoring system, rear cross traffic alert, lane departure warning system, lane keep assist, driver attention alert, smart brake support for front and rear, Mazda radar cruise control, and all that. So now, how does it drive? I have to say, it is a lot more refined right now. As you know, SkyActiv G engines run on high compression. So if you're familiar with the previous generation, you can hear this very harsh engine noise in the cabin, especially when you put your foot down. In here, you still kind of hear it, but it's very subdued. NVH level has been improved a lot. And the previous generation also suffered from loud tire roar, especially when you're going on high speed on the highway. Here, so much better. The ride feels almost premium, almost. It is slightly on the harsher side, but it absorbs all of the bumps really premiumly. But it is not hard enough for when you want to go for a sporty drive though, because when you take a corner really quickly, you feel that softness. And especially when you transition from one corner to another, it's kind of a bit squeezy. Speaking of corners, this car does a lot of thinking and hard work for you, making you feel like you are doing a very good job controlling the car really well. But actually, it is the entire SkyActiv and G vectoring control system that's taking charge. Mazda's GVC is the world's first that can vary engine torque based on your steering input. So what it does is, it controls acceleration forces, which then optimizes the vertical load on each wheel. In return, what you get is a very smooth and well-behaved vehicle movement. This all-new generation Mazda 3 comes with GVC Plus. It applies light braking as you exit a corner at high speed, giving you the extra reassurance as you straighten out of a bend, making it a lot smoother. So this is what Mazda has been all about, their SkyActiv technology, starting from the previous Mazda 3 with the Jinba Ittai philosophy, human horse one body. It is meant to make you feel like the machine, the car, is an extension of your body. So Mazda takes a lot into consideration, including the seat design, how to make you feel comfortable, seated naturally and not feel fatigue driving it. And this entire GVC Plus as well, making the vehicle motion as smooth as possible for the occupants. Well, it might sound like I'm trying to justify the price tag of this car. It costs 160,000 ringgit. It is a beautiful car. It is the most beautiful, in fact, out there in its class. It is very well built with the right kind of material usage, and it drives really well as well. The best among its Japanese competitors. But I strongly believe that there is this niche group of buyer that will go for it. If you want a executive looking car, go for the sedan, and if you're feeling sporty and young, of course, it is the LiftBack. Now, the legendary big butt. To be honest, there isn't that big of a butt to talk about, but if I must, it would be the very eager and rev-happy engine. Sometimes a bit too eager, it forgets to change gear. For example, if you were to attack a set of corners going uphill, it will rev up so high and you will stay there for a while. Not that smart actually. And I'm not even on sport mode and it's already that rev happy. It's very capable, but just sometimes a bit too eager and it forgets. So then you have to, do it manually. Come on. 4,000, 4,002, still going. 4,000, 5,000. Upshift already, come on. So, is this car for you? Well, if you're looking for a beautiful, well-built, capable, almost premium Japanese car at a lower than premium price, then yes. But if you have no idea on what I was all about, Kodo Design, Soul of Motion SkyActiv, G Vectoring Control Plus, Jinba Ittai, Handsome Wombat, then no. Because if you have no interest in all that whatsoever, then you should probably just settle for something cheaper and duller in the market out there. If you want to find out more about this all-new Mazda 3 sedan and LiftBack, do log on to AutoBuzz.my. If you like our video, do give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the logo or the subscribe button below. And don't forget to click on the notification bell to receive the latest updates on all our uploads. Put your little damn hamster in here. Damn hamster, I just said damn hamster. Oh, what button does this do? What button does this do? It is the G control vectoring G vectoring control. Don't lock! Wow, this car is all about locking, man.